we've had some big news over the past few days from the WNBA, and of course tomorrow the WNBA final starts. And as expected, you have the Vegas Aces going up against the New York Liberty. And of course, when you make moves like the New York Liberty made moves last year, getting Breonna Stewart, getting a Jonquel Jones, getting a Courtney Vandersloot, while you still have a Sabrina Tedesco and Benasia Laney, this is probably one of the first times outside of maybe the Comet that won 4 straight. This is one of the first times that we've seen a super team built. And I mean, Asia Wilson was drafted to the Vegas Aces, as well as Jackie Young, I think. And it's just, you're seeing the battle of the super teams. Let's just say that you're seeing the battle of the super teams. And to me, like I've said before, man, this is what the WNBA wanted when we talk about promotions, and this is what's been brewing ever since Breonna Stewart decided to go to the New York Liberty. Now, you have the defense. You have the former MVP in Asia Wilson. You have the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in Asia Wilson going up against the reigning MVP, 2-time MVP at this point, Breonna Stewart. You have an MVP in Jonquel Jones. You have Sabrina Tedesco, had the greatest shooting performance at this year's All-Star game. Like, there is so many storylines that you can attach yourself to decide who you think is gonna win this bout. Now, I will say this: every game this year that they've played, outside of one, has been a blowout. I mean, one game, the Vegas Aces won 88-57. One game, New York Liberty won 99-61. One game, the Vegas Aces won 98-81. I don't know how you would quantify that, but I will say this, actually. Yes, I do know how to quantify that. To me, these teams are so good, and these teams are so evenly matched that if you have any bit of slippage anywhere, the other team has the decided advantage. And when you're going into a game with a team as good as both the Aces and the Liberty, any type of slight advantage is major when you're talking about the margin of talent that both of these teams have. So if you go into the game and you may not be 100% defensively, or you may be just a tad bit tired because it could be a back-to-back, it could be on the road, that small advantage that would seem small in the grand scheme of things is huge when you're talking about a team as good as these two. So let's say Courtney Vandersloot doesn't play one game. That is a huge advantage. Say Asia Wilson isn't on her game. That's a huge advantage for the Liberty. Say Chelsea Gray has 4 turnovers. That is a huge advantage for the Liberty. Say Jonquel Jones only has 6 rebounds. That's a huge advantage for the Aces. What I'm saying is there's such a small margin of error for both of these teams when they play each other that any bit of slippage is a decisive advantage for another player, for the other team. Now, who do I think is going to win this game or this series? Going into the season, I said that I felt the Vegas Aces was going to win it all. When you see everyone play their role perfectly, you have the best player playing like the best player on the team, which is Asia Wilson. You have Chelsea Gray. She's playing like one of the best point guards in the league. You have, Kelsey Plum. Everyone was playing, or it has been this season, playing to their strengths more than their weaknesses. Now, losing Candace Parker was huge, but you did also see people like Kia Stokes step up. I think she's averaging 12 and a half. Now, she is tall as hell, but she's averaging 12 and a half rebounds a game. Look, when you have a collection of talent that the Vegas Aces have, and you saw what they did last year in the WNBA finals against the Connecticut Sun, I just felt it would be very hard to dethrone this team. Now, again, and especially I knew going into this year, it was going to be a bit of a struggle for the New York Liberty coming out the gate. I mean, you have this collection of talent that has never really. A lot of the women that play for the Liberty are coming from a situation where they were the number one option. Now you go from that to maybe a number 2, maybe a number 3, maybe even a number 4 option. That takes a while to adjust to. That takes a while to learn. And as we saw coming out the gate, the New York Liberty struggled, while the Vegas Aces had one of the best statistical years as a team in WNBA history. But everything is about one thing that basketball is about. It's about momentum. Momentum is vital to a team. I've said this on many occasions. One of the most dangerous things that you can have in a basketball game is momentum. And one of the most dangerous and detrimental things that you can lose is momentum. We've seen that we saw that in football. The Chicago Bears last week had all the momentum. They were I think they were up 21 points against the Broncos. They lost momentum. What happened? Broncos came back and won. We saw that in the Super Bowl, 28-3. The Atlanta Falcons had all the momentum. As soon as you lose the momentum, it's a wrap. It's anyone's game. And usually that's when the better team and that's when the best team rises up. You see that in basketball, 21-point leads blown, 28-point leads blown. Momentum is a dangerous thing to lose, and it is a vital thing to have. I say all that because, yes, the New York Liberty struggled coming out the gate. But I can argue that there has not been a better team coming into the playoffs than the New York Liberty. I understand that the Connecticut Sun was really good, but they're out, obviously. I understand the Dallas Wings, they're out. I would say that at least in these two, with the Vegas Aces and New York Liberty, the momentum coming into the playoffs was with the New York Liberty. They were arguably the best team in basketball after the All-Star break. But that doesn't, I'm not going to say that doesn't matter. That matters tremendously. What I will say is, at this point, you have a very even matchup. Again, this is what the WNBA pretty much was barreling down to, these two going against each other. Now that's no offense to any other team, but marketing wise, promotion wise, this is what was happening. And honestly, I think the winner of this series is not going to come from a big name. Now, I think someone like Breonna Stewart is going to be incredible. I think that A'ja Wilson, when you're that good, you're going to be good. I don't foresee any slippage from Breonna Stewart and A'ja Wilson, but I do think that their talents are going to equal each other out. I think that Jonquel Jones and her talents are going to be equaled out by maybe a Chelsea Gray or maybe a Kelsey Plum. I think that Courtney Vandersloot's talents are going to be equaled out by, a Kelsey Plum or a Jackie Young. I think the winner of this series is going to come from the quote-unquote others. Now, that sounds like a disrespectful remark, the others are going to win. But in a team sense, you know exactly what that means. The others are the players that, you're not really you don't want them to go off, obviously, because if they do, more than likely you're losing. But I think that the MVP of this series is going to be somebody that we don't expect. I'm not saying that they're going to win the WNBA Finals MVP. But what I'm saying is, I think the winner of this series is going to come between someone like a Kia Stokes, and is she going to be able to control the glass? Is she going to be able to control the paint? Is she going to be able to get Jonquel Jones is averaging 13 rebounds? Is she going to be able to get Jonquel Jones out of there? Or maybe Belajanate Laney, is she going to be able to? Because she is a scoring savant. She has probably taken the most step back, rightfully so, with this team, the Liberty. But it's not because she's trash. It's honestly because there's only one ball. I know going in, I said that the Vegas Aces was going to win it all again. And I think that defensively is going to decide who wins. Offensively, both of these teams are incredible, and both of these teams can put up points in bunches. But I think that whoever wins the defensive side of the ball and whoever's others are more impactful, I think is going to win. And honestly, because I think when you have Belajanate Laney, when you have Sabrina Nadescu, I think that the New York, and you have the momentum, in my opinion, going into this series. Do I want to pick them? I do also acknowledge and remember that one of the biggest reasons why the Vegas Aces won last year is because Chelsea Gray had like a historic run. She had one of the greatest runs an individual player has ever had in the WNBA playoffs. This is a difficult because to me these teams are so evenly matched, and you usually don't see that. So usually there's a definitive separation between both teams. This is gonna be a good one, man. I'm trying to talk myself. No, you know what? I heard this one thing that isn't really being discussed, and one thing that I haven't really touched on is being there. Now, yes, there's really no advantage to any team because Breonna Stewart has won a WNBA Finals. Courtney Vandersloot has won. Jonquel Jones hasn't, but she's been there. But then again, the Vegas Aces, they were also there last year. You know what? I'm picking the Vegas Aces. I'm gonna go down with the ship. I've been on the Vegas Aces ship. Now, of course, we all know I'm a Washington Mystics fan. They're not there, so I've been saying that Asia Wilson's the best player in basketball. I've been saying that this Vegas Aces team is gonna win it all, and now that they're here, I'm not gonna switch up, even though there's less conviction in my pick, but I'm still picking the Vegas Aces to win it all. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think it's going to go to 5 games. Yeah. I got the Vegas Aces winning. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.